everybody, I'm Michael Monaco.
And I'm Bobby Salveson, and we are the HazMat Guys, bringing you the knowledge and insight to make your job a little bit easier and safer. But before today's show, let's listen to our sponsors. Hey guys, when you're on a HazMat run, we want you to be safe. We want you to feel confident that you have the best equipment available and that you are ready to respond. That's where All Safe Industries comes to mind. They have technical experts on staff that offer the latest in detection and emergency response equipment from the most reputable brands in the industry. All Safe Industries takes the time to understand your needs, and they offer unique options in their in-case calibration gas detection kits. They also hold a GSA contract and offer GSA pricing to state and local agencies. All Safe Industries is veteran-owned and has been serving first responders from coast to coast since 1996. Visit allsafeindustries.com or call 888-972-3389. That spells 8889-SAFETY. Hey guys, you know we say it all the time. In emergency responses, clear and reliable radio communication is essential. And that's why Cavcom's award-winning Talk Through Your Ears technology is compatible with any two-way radio, any suit, and any respirator. Visit CavComInc.com, that's CAVCOMINC.com, or call them at 866-547-4988.
Now let's get into the show. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 183. Today, we're going to be talking about a 331 that decided to do some cartwheels on the road and slide into home base. What are we going to do? How would we operate? What kinds of things are we thinking about? But first,
this is a. I like this one because it's a unique tank in one very specific way. I kind of like this tank as a responder. I kind of like this tank. So
yeah, it's a real, like, can take a licking and keeps on ticking.
Take a licking, yes, indeed. But we were just talking. We were just talking before. I just came back from the Midwest HazMat conference and hanging out with good friends Rick Emery and Toby and Toby. There's a whole bunch of Tobys.
There's a lot of Tobys.
Oh my God,
too many Tobys. Too many Tobys.
We had a tremendous time. Great bunch of people. Awesome place. You got to go to it if you're in that Chicago area. The Chicago. I had a Chicago hot dog.
Did you have the pizza?
I did. It was like Domino's.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was nonplussed, as they say. But I'm sure it wasn't indicative of the true Chicagoan pizza.
No, good. I got to say, I will give a hand to that deep dish pizza. It is pretty tasty.
All right. Well, to each his own.
To each his own.
And you are flying out at 0700 tomorrow for the cold zone.
Yes. I'll be doing a couple lectures there. So if you're listening to this and you're not in, where is that? I always get this wrong. Minnesota?
Minneapolis. Minnesota? It's Michigan. It's whatever. It's a state up by the lake.
Yeah. It's up there. It's cold generally.
Yeah.
So I'll be there. If you're not there and you're listening to this and going, maybe I should go to that, it's too late. Don't bother. Come next year.
It's dark up there, I think 6 months of the year.
Yes. There's a little it's like a constant sunset. It's beautiful.
Right. So, those are the next two. And then you got Baltimore. Oh, I wanted to talk about that. We had a great conversation with a couple friends from Cavcom that'll be coming out soon about communications in suit. And I had the chance to sit down to talk to Toby Bevilacqua. I always say his name wrong, and he's going to laugh at me right now. And
I always think of that Greek dessert, baklava.
Baklava, or the thing you wear over your head.
Baklava. I'm like, oh, he's filled with pistachios and delicious honey.
Or the thing you wear over your head, the balaclava, right?
Fez?
It's like a hood.
A hood? I don't know.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyway, we were sitting down talking about why training has evolved, how it's evolved, and the methodology of training in HazMat is changed. Really good conversation. That'll be coming out probably in the next week or two. I don't know when, but that's gonna be a good one too. So,
nice.
Let's bring it around to this topic: the old overturned 331.
331. All right.
Set the table.
All right. So we're basically going to be kind of setting up a scenario and just kind of chit-chatting about all different possibilities and what we would be thinking. And I guess in order to do that, we really want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So we'll go through some of the basics of the 330 run, right? What is its purpose? what does it do? It shapes the containers, all that happy crap that goes
Yeah.
along with it. And the 331 is the cool one because other than the cryogenic, right? It's the only one that's designed to take a gas and transport it in a compressed liquid form. And I say other than the cryogenic because the cryogenic really, it liquefies it. So the pressures are not the same. And as a result, it can hold a whole bunch of these various either flammable or toxic, like ammonia, or ammonia where it's flammable and toxic, but not really flammable, sort of. Right. So its main purpose is to be able to take gases, compress them, and ship them in liquid form. So when you think about, hey, hold on, I got to clear my throat here. Oh, there we go. That was kind of a nice shaped loogie. When you think about right, we always talk about in HazMat, we sit and we go, okay, well, a lot of times the container is dictated by the chemical physical properties. So if you think about what it would take to hold a gas so tight that it goes back into a liquid form, you can imagine the sturdiness of this bad boy.
Right. And just to review, and we've said this many times back in the days, is that gases that are liquefied are held in liquefaction by two different manners. And what Mike said is exactly what it was. It's the 331 and the 338. One is it keeps it in a liquid format by temperature, and the other one does it by pressure. So if you think about your propane barbecue tank that's on the side of your house, it's 105 degrees out, but it's a dry heat.
It's
right?
dry. Doesn't matter.
It's still liquefied because it's kept in the pressure. There's no cold there. And yet, we can have a dewar full of liquid nitrogen, minus 400 XMIZ degrees, and you could take the lid off. No pressure, yet it is still liquid. So the 331 is more of the pressure side of it. Now, with that, the construction. The construction is robust. I will say that. Robust.
To say the least.
And some of the indicators of this robustness is that it has a stout cylindrical shape, and the key point is the round heads.
Why does it? What's with the round heads? Why is that roundness so damn important?
Honestly, it's because of physics.
Ooh.
Because round holds more pressure, right? So it's able to, over increased surface area, right, take. How do I say this the right way?
It holds all the pressure uniformly.
Yes, that's what it was. There's no corners. Basically, I'm driving in the same direction you. The uniformity of all the square inches of that concave surface, or convex, depending on what side you're looking at, feels the pressure equally. There's no
weak spot.
Weak spots. Yeah, that's yeah. So I think everybody can kind of get what I'm saying there. But that's an integral part of this whole system, is that you have a very robust body, right? And now, I hope I'm not giving away the show here, but in these things, this tank is so robust that it is the frame of the trailer.
Yeah, they literally just kind of tack
Put
weld the
wheels on it.
right to the. It's like a roller skate. It's like a skateboard tank. The equivalent would be a skateboard propane bottle for your barbecue. Like,
yes,
it's a skateboard. It's a propane tank.
Right.
Generally, these things. Obviously, the mixture is going to change a little bit, but you're generally talking about like thick welded steel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, just kind of right down the line. I'm sure somewhere there's some crazy ass metal alloy that is different, and someone's going to email me and like, do you know that Joe's Trucking out in Minnesota has, all right. For the most part, they're going to be a really, that solid steel welded along the seams. It's got the roundness to the sides. We are good to go.
Right. And remember, these things, and I'm making up a number, and I don't even know if this is the right number, but let's say it's theoretically 300. I don't have it memorized, but 331. Let's say it says it's rated to 300 pounds. 300 pounds per square inch. Think about how many square inches are on a tractor trailer. There is an enormous amount of pressure in there.
Oh.
Tremendous amounts of pressure.
Go get an egg. Go get an egg and squeeze it in one hand as hard as you can.
Yeah,
as
right.
hard as you can, that egg will not break.
So that's what
Unless-
we're talking about here.
Unless you have a wedding ring on, which I do not.
Ah,
Ah,
that's so ladies in cold zone.
about chicken out now. Yeah. So, and that's the same idea. It's that pressure. It's that roundness. But I know it sounds stupid, and I don't want to jump ahead, so I'm not going to. But I know somebody's sitting there going, "Okay, we got it. It's round. It holds pressure."
Okay. Right.
But that when you start to do your damage assessment, that becomes critical. Because if your round is no longer round, then your pressures, the pressure on the container is now different, and you have a weak zone where it can rip apart. So we may it's not just, oh, that's really cool, it's round, it holds the pressure. Like, there's damage assessment that goes into that shape. So that's why we're kind of harping on this, just so you're not sitting there go, okay, yeah, we get it, it's round.
Right.
Move on.
And also, I will say that if you go back to the other propane, episodes that we've done, this is just a giant barbecue tank. The 20-pounder that you have on the side of the barbecue, this is just a giant one on wheels.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, what we're saying here, what we're going to tell you how to handle this thing, is right out of the playbook, just in a larger scale.
Yeah. No OPD though.
No.
There's not a giant 4-inch OPD.
That would be funny.
That would be great. All right, so let's jump right into a little bit of a scenario here, or at least we'll kind of set the scene. And like so many things that we try to do, we will paint a picture and then just talk about the different variables that help change things up and what we would do, what our thought process is. We can't tell you what we would do because obviously the details are so incredibly minute and there's so many of them that we could go on forever. But we're going to give the thought process. What are we thinking? So the scenario is first 2 units arrive on scene to a 331 that's on its side. The driver was able to get out with no injuries, but it's very obvious that this vehicle flipped over while it was in motion, skidded along the road, went up onto an embankment on the side of the road. I would say there was probably 50 feet of skid marks in the road from the tank as it screeched to a halt. So it is on its side. It is, I guess it would be on the passenger side.
Okay.
Laying on the passenger side, so the driver was able to get out with no problem. And, that's what they got when they arrived on scene.
All right, so let me play this thing out a little bit. First off, do I know the product?
Yes, we do.
What is it carrying?
This is carrying propane. There's no doubt about that. This isn't definitely not a trick. It's a 331. It's got the placards. It's got the whole 9 yards. The driver's like, it's propane, and we're good to go. Definitely propane.
All right, so I always think better whenever I have a nice stogie going. So I would start a cigar immediately.
Why wouldn't you?
Right, that's step one, and that's a.
How else do you find the leak? Hello.
So, all right, is it leaking?
Okay. Now, why is that an important question?
Well, if it's leaking, I'm going to. Well, you know what? If it's not or it is, I'm going to be stretching hand lines. And I'm thinking about this from the firematic side because hand lines are going to allow me to either, A, if it is leaking, move the gases. If it is not leaking, move the gases just in case because it's like a prophylactic thing. So I want to know if it's leaking. And so the way I will tell if it's leaking is I will do a very wide berth, 360, with my meter like an inch off the ground.
Why so far off the ground?
Because you know what? I've been fooled way too many times with low-lying gases, and people think it's like, oh, shin high? No, shin high is not even in the LEL, and down by your feet, which is grubbing against the rug, is creating lightning bolts coming out of your feet, is in the LEL, and you didn't even see it. So when I do it, I look like a blind guy tapping the ground.
Like ankle high. Literally, we're talking like ankle high, that we've had instances where it's lit up at our toes.
Yeah.
And nowhere else.
Yeah, so I go as low as I can. And again, just statistically, 65% of things go on fire and everything but 13 go down. So you're thinking about fire and down, and I go down, down, down. I mean, butane, propane, all these anes, enes, they all go. They are low, low, low. So I mean, take your probe right to the floor. Don't suck up dirt.
No joke. You had mentioned on something that was interesting, and I kind of want to hit on it because I don't know if other people sat and went, oh, okay, yeah, I would do a wide berth too in this scenario. Mm-hmm. In this scenario, there are, for a 331, if we go back to our previous 331 episode, yes. You will hear that there are transfer valves that are both in the liquid and the vapor phase on the belly of the tank.
Okay.
And then there's also a relief device on top of the tank. Just your normal kind of pressure relief device, right? It builds up pressure. It's spring loaded. It gives off. The vapors go away. The pressure in the tank drops. Totally cool. But that's when it's kind of on its wheels.
Right. And so now things may be flipped.
So
maybe
if it's flipped, and now where's that vapor space?
Well, the vapor space is definitely going to be on the top, whatever
okay.
the orientation might be. But the dip tubes, the liquid might be vapor, the vapor might be liquid. The PRD might be under liquid, which was in the vapor.
And if that shit's full, then it's all under liquid.
Yeah, and I will say this. Typically, those tanks are painted white to keep the heat down. They don't want pressurization.
Right.
And I will say this, another thing on my 360 in general, I will say this in general for most liquefied compressed gases, if you see the vapor cloud, you have a liquid leak. If you don't, you have a vapor leak.
Yeah.
That's just a generality that if you stick to that rule of thumb, you're probably in the right spot.
So, why?
Well, because when liquid comes out and it expands in a rapid fashion, right? And that's when we start getting expansion ratios and all this other crap. What happens is there's a huge phase change. It's so freaking cold, it freezes the humidity in the air. And you get this cloud. That is actually not product. That is vapor. That is humidity.
Water.
That's water freezing in air. If you don't get that, and I smell ammonia, but I don't see nothing, well, you have a vapor leak. If I see an ammonia leak, it's a liquid leak. You've heard us talk about First Line Technologies' Dahlgren Decon solution and their FiberTech wipes and mitts. They've just come out with Enhanced Decon Systems Kit, which contains everything you need to quickly decontaminate 6 to 24 operators and all their gear in one fully equipped grab-it-and-go bag. This kit has been HazMat team tested and approved, and it's the only full-team modified decon kit with the power of Dahlgren Decon and FiberTech wipes to counter hundreds of known and emerging threats. The EDS kit is perfect for incidents where a small footprint, low logistics decontamination SOP is appropriate. Are you operating in a harsh environment? No problem. Whether it's minus 10 or 104 degrees F, Dahlgren Decon will maintain its effectiveness and can be easily applied to neutralize threats. The kit is stable in temperatures from minus 40 to 160 degrees F if you carry the RSDL with you. If you use all the consumables in the kit, unlike other rapid deployment kits, you do not need to buy a complete kit to resupply. Just purchase one of the First Line EDS replenishment packs and order just the elements you need. When ounces count and the clock is ticking, grab the EDS kit and go. Call the guys at First Line Technology for more information or a quote at 703-955-7510 or email them at sales@firstlinetech.com.
So I wonder, and this is a legit question, I don't actually know the answer to this. If we had a liquid leak, say in, I don't know, pick a place that's like a desert, Los Angeles. Phoenix. Phoenix. If we have a liquid leak in Phoenix and we have a liquid leak, that same liquid leak in Florida, in the Panhandle.
I see what you're saying. A humidity in the air.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a difference in that cloud formation? Am I going to look at that and go, "Oh wow, that's it," like the same leak, same quantity? Where I go, "Wow, that looks like a smaller leak because there's less humidity."
I would bet that it's going to look like the movies in Florida, and it's going to look really kind of in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But. That's why I'm not saying, because anybody, and I say this in all my classes, that anybody in any one of these emergency disciplines that tells you always or never, they're immediately full of shit.
Right.
immediately. There is never a never, and there's never an always. And I just said never in the never. So, yeah, for those of you throwing the flag at me, yes, I just did that. But what I will say is that rules of thumb are rules of thumb. There are generalities that we talk in, and it works for the most part. It'll keep you out of problems for the most part.
I agree.
So that's why I kind of took the wide view, because there's no reason for me to get up there and start touching there's no benefit for me to touch the tank.
Right.
Right? I can, and guys say, well, I can't see that far. You can see stars.
Yeah.
There are millions and millions of light years away. You can see pretty freaking far. I've seen guys use their cell phones and zoom in on the cell phone, and it's a cheap binocular.
And if you're gonna, if you have the potential for that liquid leak, you have an area that's 270 times more worse than a vapor leak. So start off from a distance. Do your 360 and work your way in. If you just go marching in there, that liquid leak could be pushing in a totally different direction, and you don't even know. And now you're really, really in the danger zone. So
right, and you're supposed to be playing with that 20% thing on the outside. Well, I'm assuming this is on the outside. So 20% is our safety zone, our hot zone, if you would.
Right.
So why even test it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a leak, you have a leak.
Yeah.
Handle it.
And you know what? I think this is somewhere else in the discussion, but I'd like to, because you were talking about the meters and you talked about never and always. Yeah. This is one of those possibly never or always moments where they turn around and they go, you should always be wearing your mask. Well, I don't know if I would necessarily put my face piece on at that moment.
I concur.
Because there is a definitive possibility that I get nothing on my meter, but I can smell the mercaptan long before I get anything on my meter. So as long as I'm approaching safely, right, and I've got my meter and I've got nothing on my meter, I would want to approach with my mask off.
I concur 100%. And we're not saying throw caution to the wind. And full disclaimer here is that we're using a little bit of the chemistry science behind what we're saying is that the ethyl mercaptan or methyl mercaptan, whatever they're odorizing yours with, is picked up in the parts per billion range.
Much, much smaller.
This is just like the human nose picks up on gasoline in the parts per billion range. Dogs pick up on things in the parts per nanogram. Like, it is incredibly. So the best example of this is when you go to the salt compartment on your truck company, right? You open up that compartment, stinks like gas. Throw a match in there. Doesn't blow up, doesn't go on fire, doesn't do anything. Just that you have a great meter in your nose. And we don't like to advocate as a teaching tool to use your senses.
Right.
As a meter. But
in an always or never situation, there's never an always or never situation, and there's a perfect example. I'd have it on my back. I'd be ready to go. I would probably have my hood up and my flaps down, and if it does light up, I could look away, but there's no product that's going to get into my lungs. It's not like I'm breathing in the flammable fumes.
Yeah, this is going to be a linear situation where it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to die right now.
Right.
Right, I mean, if you're doing you're 50 feet away, you're 100 feet away, you're thinking about this smartly, you're going to win.
Right.
Again, I'm not panicking on this one. I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of boom in there. But this is not a big deal.
Well, there's a lot of whoosh.
There's a lot of whoosh.
There's a lot of whoosh,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if that does light up, it's going to whoosh the area where you're in the right air to fuel ratio, and then it's just going to start burning off where it's leaking from.
You know what, you said something, and I'm gonna depart from our outline here for a second. Is that he said that it's going to whoosh from the flammable range,
right?
So everybody knows that if it's too lean, it doesn't burn. Right? There's just not enough fuel in the mixture to burn.
Yeah, there's just no fuel.
And the sweet spot is between the LEL and UEL. We all know this and blah, blah, blah. And right in the middle of that is the sweet spot of the going on fire, And we often say anything above the UEL is unable to burn. and this is just, again, I might be throwing out a spoiler here, but that is just untrue, right? That is, what we're assuming is that the energy required to get it to go on fire is just unobtainable.
Right.
And I will postulate this.
Postulate away.
If I am way beyond my UEL, I'm many times the UEL, and a lightning strike, let's say, happens in that zone, do you think it can go on fire?
I think it can.
And now that too rich spot is being consumed very rapidly, and the composition of the atmosphere is changing at a microsecond, a step. So now everything gets consumed almost instantly. So the too rich and the flammable range happens instantly.
Yes.
For human terms, we'll say. You know what I'm saying? And so the below LEL doesn't really go on fire. I mean, it might give a little pop, but
yeah, you could increase some burning that's around you, but it itself is not going to go boom.
You know, I'm not saying that the whole, oh my God, a calamity, it's not a movie. The whole tank is not going to explode. But what I'm saying is there has to be some reality in this thing. There is a limit to this. And this might be a little bit expanding the horizons of thought for flammable ranges. I don't want to crush your heads, but that's really how it works.
Well, no, I mean, listen, you're outside and you have the potential to be in an upper explosive limit. You should understand that, when we talk about standard temperature and pressure, like we're talking about kind of the world around us. And there are things out there that can produce stuff that's not within our normal realm.
Totally.
The circuits, these, if you're in a high rise or an electrical panel, some of these arcs are so hot that they just burn whatever's atmosphere is in there. And they put in shit in there that's not flammable.
Yeah, like sulfur hex.
Yeah, like sulfur hex. And it's still, not that it lights it up, but there's still a massive chemical reaction. So,
yeah.
All right. So we have all this, talked about the leak, talked about the flammable range. What would we do if it was leaking? I think I just kind of jumped in on you, but go ahead.
Well, it's all right. If it is leaking, I mean, I would obviously love a non-leaking tank. That's an easy one. But a leaking tank is, again, not a big problem. So I'm thinking, okay, so I have a leaking tank. I'm going to have, well, my concern is a vapor or is it liquid? And I'm trying to think of how I do this because I'm thinking it's on the fly.
Well, all right. So I'm going to tell you, let's stick with the liquid because it's the worst case scenario. And assuming this situation, it probably would be a liquid leak because all our valves are now in the liquid space. All of our pressure relief devices in liquid space, and any damage to the tank is going to be in the liquid space.
Okay, so I'm going to get Mongo to roll the tank until it's up, and we're done.
Yeah,
Time.
Is that always a good? All right, so let's because that is. I know you're joking around. I hope you're joking around, but somebody might actually turn around, like a chief may turn around and be like, let's just flip the tank until it stops leaking.
No, this is not the time to do it. I'm not going to say it's not done. And there is a disclaimer in here. We'll get to it, I guess, in a little while. But this is not the time to do that.
Why?
There's too much potential for us being in that UEL, LEL. I'm back to normal operations. The UEL, LEL is a sweet spot. If I have a spark source, could be a spark of me walking across the ground, me dropping a chain for slings, me putting a shackle in and turning that bolt. If I get a sweet spot and I get this ignite, we have a issue.
Yeah.
So we are not doing that until we have this liquid leak stopped. Right? So
I concur.
Our liquid leak will stop on its own when it drops below the liquid leaking point, and now it's just gas.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, if I wait long enough, eventually the liquid will leak out until it's just in the gas space, and then I don't have a 270 to 1. I have a 1 to 1.
Okay, well, what about this? What about when the B team turns around and says, well, let's just let it keep leaking. Eventually, it'll auto-refrigerate on its own.
No.
Well, yeah. No. Yeah. That's my B team is going to that's I'm your B team guy, and I'm turning around and going, Bob, don't worry about it. It's just going to get cold as it's leaking. Don't worry about it.
All right. The problem with the B team is that they shouldn't be on the HazMat. No, that's a side story. Don't forget that. The problem with that thought, and this is one of those things where they hear a cool term, auto refrigeration, and they're like, this applies to concepts that they're not grasping. So let's take a couple of seconds and just explain why this does not work for auto refrigeration.
Yes, please.
Auto refrigeration.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, okay. So auto refrigeration is the process of a liquid, a compressed liquefied gas, punching itself stupid. Okay?
Right.
So every time a bubble is liberated, boiling we'll call it, which is the literal term, right? So boiling. Anytime a liquid liberates a bubble, it is actually dropping the temperature. So one of the things that people stick on is that, okay, I put a pot of water on my stove and I turn on the burner and it bubbles. And it doesn't get colder, it keeps getting hotter. It's because the flame is overwhelming that whole process.
Right.
But in the case of R331, it's overturned on this thing. There is no heat input. Environment is the heat input. And I'm going to loop around with that. Remind me about lines because I might get detracted on this one.
Lions? Like
water lines, like hose lines.
Water lines. Okay.
No, not lions, no roars. So the fact that he said I have a liquid leak is the reason why I can't have auto refrigeration.
But
for now.
But why?
Okay.
Yeah, I still have a liquid that's turning into a gas.
Yes.
So
okay.
I still have the liquid. The liquid is there. It's turning into a gas. It's going to make something cold.
Yes.
Why is auto refrigeration not the proper time?
Because auto refrigeration is not the proper term for what we have happening now. Here's why. In order for auto refrigeration to happen, you have to have a leak in the head space, in the vapor side. If the vapor is not there, or we don't have the headspace pressure, the liquid will boil in order to reclaim the pressure in the headspace to make equilibrium.
Right.
Come back. The headspace pushes down with pressure X, and liquid presses up with pressure X. And once they're in basically equalization, they stop boiling. Whenever they're out of balance, liquid will boil to catch up. Every time it produces a bubble, it gets colder. Every time it gets colder, the pressure goes down. And this is a negative feedback loop in order for us to get to this place.
That's right. And the key to this whole thing is that process has to happen inside the tank.
Right. So I let me just finish this up because I'm on my my soapbox here.
Physics soapbox.
We do not have auto refrigeration because there's liquid coming out. So what's happening is the liquid is being pushed out at the vapor space pressure. Okay, let me back up a second because I know I'm losing a couple of you. You're like, what the hell is he talking about now? There is a known temperature and pressure for propane. And I'm going to give you the rule of thumb, and it probably is off because as you get lower, it doesn't really work very well. But for every degree Fahrenheit, it's roughly 2 psi.
Right.
Okay? Just roughly. Right? So, well, it's minus 44. How is it minus 20? Shut up. Don't be a dick.
You're overthinking it.
Don't overthink this. Right? So anything that's in North America, roughly every degree of Fahrenheit is 2 psi. Great rule of thumb. The head is pushing the liquid out of that hole at X pressure. And until it hits the vapor space, there is no boiling because the pressure in the head is okay in its mind, its chemical mind.
It's fine. It's happy.
The only thing that's going to happen is the headspace is getting a little bigger. Volume is going down. Pressure is going down. The thing might start boiling to put the pressure back up, but it won't be nearly like there was a gash on the headspace.
Right.
So there will be a liquid push out of this hole until it hits the vapor space, and then the auto refrigeration will happen.
Right. Now, there could be, depending on the size and volume of your leak, an auto refrigeration event taking place outside the tank.
Yes.
And you can have liquid pooling around. In fact, a really great demonstration of this, has nothing to do with propane, but if you go look at the Jackrabbit and the Jackrabbit 2 footage where they blew a hole in chlorine tanker cars and they had all the chlorine kind of spill out, you can actually see pools of chlorine chilling in the outside the tank because the product outside the tank has now auto refrigerated.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the tank itself and the product that's still inside of that tank.
Guys, we have more to talk about with this topic. So tune in next week for more. If you have a moment, please head over to iTunes and leave us a positive review. And don't forget to check out the book, National Emergency Response HazMat Drills, or NERD, on Amazon.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the HazMat Guys.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at the HazMat Guys. And take a moment to call our comment hotline at 843-628-1484 and go to www.thehazmatguys.com and sign up for the newsletter.
We seriously look forward to your feedback about any of the information provided, and we also want to hear about interesting incidents that you were a part of. So you can send us a note at feedback@thehazmatguys.com. And remember, any of the information that you share with us, if we put it on air, can always remain anonymous.
Remember, guys, don't just get on the job. Get into the job.